I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers! All right, welcome to Stars and Marvel episode 25.
Hey.
This is actually episode 26. We had recorded a couple episodes back to back, and we ended up releasing an episode before this, not realizing we were going to do that. So you're now listening to episode 26. So enjoy. Quarter century.
Old enough to rent a car.
Hey, our insurance is going down. Actually,
Going down. Hey, my insurance didn't go down when I turned 25.
I think mine did.
I distinctly remember the week after I turned 25, I called my insurance company.
Hey, when's this going down?
I was like, hey, I turned 25. Is this guy? They're like, no. I was like, oh, all right then.
Okay.
This is a waste of time.
I guess I'll go fuck myself then. Yeah.
Before we go though, if we like Star Wars, anything we say, hit a like on the video. Let's get 3 likes this video.
Yeah, 3. Make it
likes.
3.
3 likes.
3. There we go.
And obviously subscribe, please. I mean,
hit subscribe if you got a chance.
If you got it.
I would like to. Hold on one second. I should have done this before I hit record. I want to thank Jeremy Miller, our newest subscriber. Thank you, Jeremy.
Ooh.
Don't know who you are, but thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoy the content and check out our backlog. We got 24 other episodes. So
it's crazy that we're on episode 25, dude.
Right?
This is such a this I love what it's so like no effort conversation, like just gabbing about Star Wars and Marvel stuff. I'm like, how are we 25 in? But
hey, if they keep pumping stuff out, we'll keep talking about it.
Oh heck yeah. Although I will say a little Disney needs to up their game action here. I don't know if you saw the the Nielsen company or whatever the heck it's called for television.
Oh the ratings.
The ratings, they released the top 15 watched streaming shows of 2022. Disney Plus had none of them.
Wow, really?
None of them.
None of them?
Not one. Wow. And like the obvious, like Stranger Things was number 1, and House of the Dragon was somewhere on there. Like those things. Like I'm not saying like She-Hulk was better than Stranger Things.
No. But you figure like maybe Loki or
Disney
one
Plus
of them
wasn't on there at all.
Wow.
In any show at all.
Any show at all. Even like Obi-Wan or like
nope.
Wow. Huh. That's crazy.
So we gotta be a stern harsher with our criticism so that they up their game.
So that get those numbers up there. It's rookie numbers.
We got rookie numbers. Get them up.
Get them up there. So this week we're gonna be doing a little quick breakdown of. It's gonna be a Star Wars episode. We're doing a little quick breakdown of Mandalorian season 3 trailer that dropped I think last week or the week before or something like that. And then we're gonna do our little series recap on Andor because we did 1 or 2 episodes about Andor, and then She-Hulk kind of took over everything, and then we kind of got more focused on She-Hulk, and then what was after that?
We had like Black Panther come out.
Black Panther, there we go. Yeah. I knew there was some other.
It was a pretty busy end of the year.
Yeah. So I mean, Andor was kind of a show where it was hard to do a weekly episode because there wasn't that much that happened in each episode. At least I felt like so.
I'm excited to talk about it because I feel like I'm not in the majority of what people think, but like I'm also like I'm very, very, very middle ground, and I'm like I like that I'm a middle ground spot for it.
Yeah. Do you want to do what we did last time and watch the trailer?
Yes, because I was actually really looking forward to rewatching it.
Yeah. Let me exit out of here real quick. Okay.
And while Brendan pulls that up, just a quick shout out, go Birds.
Hey, go Birds.
Quick, go Birds, baby.
There we go. NFC Championship.
if they lose this game, I just don't think it's possible. I think we're a much better team. But if you're a 49ers fan, feel free to tell us why I'm wrong in the chat.
Feel free to tell us why you're wrong and why Brock Purdy sucks. No.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go.
Our people are scattered.
Can you hear it?
Like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for?
It's so funny seeing him as the only silver armor. And
right?
Like,
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
What are they? The Death Watch, right? Isn't that the
Death Watch? Yeah.
How to navigate the galaxy.
The group he's part of, or like the.
That way, you'll never be lost.
I don't know actually if he. I love Na'vi starfighters though. Just so cool.
I'm going to Mandalore so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
So cool.
May the Force be with you!
This is the way.
There's something dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Hang on, kid.
Oh, it's awesome. I got chills.
Hey, little Babu Fricks.
Babu Frick.
This is the way.
I don't think you can do two This Is the Ways on the trailer.
No.
I feel like that's a bad. You can't do a double drop of This Is the Way.
March 1st.
That was a pretty good trailer, though.
Yeah.
Again, Disney Plus giving us the nothing trailers and it working well.
And yeah, I was gonna say not a whole lot of meat to the trailer, which I liked. I liked that there wasn't a lot of story. We don't exactly know what's gonna be happening in season 3.
So they established we know he's going to
Mandalore, but
elephant in the room with Book of Boba Fett. I mean, I don't think we've ever talked about it. Did you like Book of Boba Fett?
I mean, it was basically season 3 of Mandalorian,
but like the ending, not those episodes. Did you like the Boba Fett stuff?
I mean, I liked getting a little bit of a backstory, like how he survived with the Tusken Raiders and stuff like that, and learned to speak their language. But other than that, I didn't really care about like the modern day Boba Fett stuff of like him running the town and everything. I
liked it. I just think. I don't know. It definitely wasn't as good as Mandalorian. I think it's just the best way to put it. And that's an obvious criticism everyone has. But I thought it was crazy that we had like 2 or 3 episodes of Mandalorian in there. Like it was.
Yeah, I mean, the end of Book of Boba Fett basically was. See, there was like I think 2 or 3 episodes from the Mandalorian where Boba Fett wasn't even in the episode.
Yeah, it was seriously like it was Mandalorian trying to use Darksaber. It was Mandalorian getting the Naboo starfighter. Him reuniting with Grogu. Like it was weird. Having some pretty serious lore drop in the Book of Boba Fett for Mandalorian. It was very similar to giving us the Mantis is Star-Lord's sister in the Christmas special.
In the Christmas special. Yeah.
What?
Very yeah.
But anyway, so if you haven't seen it, you need to at least watch, like Brendan said, the last 3 episodes of Boba Fett, because that's going to be critical for this season, I think.
Yep.
I mean, Grogu's back, and there's going to be no explanation if you don't go watch it.
Yep.
This trailer rocks. You get to see a bunch of Mandalorians. Like you said, we know they're going to Mandalore. We see what I assume is that city from no spoilers because wait, you did finish Clone Wars.
Yeah, I finished Clone Wars. Yep.
I think that shot we get is the city that Ahsoka fought Darth Maul in.
Yeah, the destroyed Mandalore. Yeah, that's Yep.
That's what I don't know what the city's
the Mandalorian capital or whatever. Is the planet, I think.
Planet, right? Yeah. So I don't know what but anyway, I think that's that city. So that's kind of cool getting that real life interpretation of that.
Yeah. And how it's like all like, it stays true to the canon of that show of like it's all destroyed and it's no longer really their home anymore.
So I like that the trailer confirms we're going to Mandalore. We get more Mandalorians. The armors are different. I like the the uniqueness between each of them. To your point, so Death Watch was Darth Maul's followers that were Mandalorians, I believe. And then I forget what the Mandalorians were called that followed Bo-Katan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because they're the ones that are Well, I forget. There's a group that I think that whatever his name is, Dinjajar, that he's part of, where they're like, hey, you don't remove your helmet at all. You know what I mean? Like where they're very strict about the old ways.
Shoot.
I forget what they're.
I'm looking it up right now because I feel like this is important, but I'm sure it's not. Yes. So I was wrong. Maybe? No. I don't know. Death Watch. Yeah. So Bo-Katan, you were right. You were 100% right. I was wrong. Brendan's right. Death Watch is Bo-Katan's Mandalorians. So
okay.
Not Darth Maul's. So yes, that I assume is Death Watch then. I think the diehards, you can't remove your helmet, are just that. They're just diehard Mandalorians. I don't think they have a more specific sector name to them.
Okay.
The old ways, I think you said that. Like,
yeah.
No, so like we'll call them the oldies. But yeah, I like the uniqueness. Very Rebels. I forget that character's name. The Rebels character who likes to graffiti her armor up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
And I get that vibe from all of them. I don't think she's going to be in the show. I think at this point she's going to be on Ahsoka live action.
Yeah, because Ezra Bridger is already confirmed for the Ahsoka live action show.
That's what I think. I think Ezra is basically the end game for that show, or at least season 1 of that show, I should say.
Yep.
So I'm so pumped. Ahsoka's this year, right? Like,
yeah,
I think so. I'm really excited for Ahsoka. But this rocks. This rocks. We get the. I mean, Babu Frick. That's I'm sorry if you don't like Rise of Skywalker. I like Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
so
it's a cool little throw in.
It's a fun little cameo there. I don't know. Like, what, Brendan? I guess what are your thoughts on how this season's shaping up? I don't think I've heard this, but I feel like season 4 could be the final season of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be it. I think they're probably they got one more in the books. I think it's going to be a lot more like even closer bonding between what is it? Dijin, something like that. Dijin.
I think Jin, like Genie Jin, like Jin.
Okay.
I could just call him Jin though, like goddamn Jim,
It's gonna be a lot of bonding between him and Grogu. Because Grogu chose him over learning to become a Jedi. Spoilers for Book of Boba Fett. But if you haven't watched it, why are you gonna watch season 3 of Mandalorian? So
maybe my favorite little Easter egg is in that episode when Luke Skywalker holds prequel's Yoda lightsaber out for Grogu to take.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
That's awesome. Because when Luke Skywalker says like Grogu has to make the choice or whatever, it's like it's choosing Yoda's lightsaber or choosing the armor that Jin made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I had a feeling when he picked up. I think it's just an artifact from Mandalore. When he's holding that helmet like covered in dust and stuff like that, I was thinking like, oh, is he getting Grogu some armor? Like, are we gonna get a Mandalorian Grogu? Like,
I think we gotta get something. He's got to get more than just the chainmail, right? Like, and that thing is very cool. That's definitely like in the decimated city. Like, he's definitely picking up like undead Mandalorian's helmet, and that's so. Like the impact of that, the prequel flashback scene we get in this trailer,
that's what I was
got to be another Grogu memory, right? Like,
do
we get Anakin?
Probably gonna be like an Order 66 type thing, like him, because it looked like the scene from Obi-Wan where so we could get another Hayden Christensen cameo, and
I'm all for it all the time, always,
because we don't know who saved Grogu, right? We just know he was saved.
I don't think we know. Yeah, it would be pretty. Huh? Do you think Anakin saved him? Is that?
No, I mean I don't know if Anakin, but it's pretty cool that like if we get that scene of hey, because they had like a tiny flashback I think in season 2 or maybe book of him in the Jedi Temple, but yeah, I mean that would be awesome if we get like a full blown like. Almost kind of like how Obi-Wan started, where we get the kids trying to escape, and then like maybe one of the group of kids has Grogu in it, and they're like trying to get him out, and so I don't know.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I would be pretty like I'm just, dude, nostalgia is a thing, and I'm just a sucker for anything that relates to the prequels.
Oh yeah,
like I think when we see, I always forget. I think that's the bar from Tatooine, and it's the mixture of all the different droids. I think there's prequel battle droids in there at the bar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that thing
That's
just like
be
that kind of
awesome.
shit just gets me smiling all day.
Gets my juices going.
But like the thing I think is most interesting about this trailer, and I don't think he lost it in Boba Fett, but you don't see the Darksaber at all.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't use it once in this trailer, and I think
he still has it, right?
I think he still has it.
Right, yeah, I think so. Because
that's what he was like bad at using it in Boba Fett, which was also very cool.
Yeah.
Well, like,
because it was like too like heavy for him.
Right. I thought, but like, just look how you see him pick up that Mandalorian helmet and like look at it for a brief second. I thought something like that was going to happen in the trailer, where he's holding the hilt to the Darksaber and like contemplating it, kind of a thing. Because remember, as of right now, Death Watch is following him.
Yeah,
if I remember, like Bo-Katan didn't win the Darksaber in contact.
She wants it back.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this season, very much so.
And I like it because it seems like he's going back to Mandalore to try to get back into the tribe because he took off his helmet. She was basically like, hey, you're no longer a Mandalorian, which I'm kind of surprised he still has the armor and everything, because I feel like they'd be the type of people where if you disobey their rules, you're out. You give back, your badge and your gun type thing. So like, I feel like
it's funny. I didn't think necessarily that they would take it from him, but I thought he would almost use this as a time to, how do I best describe it? Like someone who's like contemplating their religion. Quite literally, it's a religion, right? So someone who's not sure about their faith at the moment, and they like take a break, kind of thing.
Almost kind of like a Mandalorian Rumspringa.
Yeah, but like that's what I thought. I thought maybe in this season, like he didn't wear the helmet, like just at all. Like,
yeah, that would be pretty cool.
He's not in that religion anymore, but he's so dedicated to rejoining. That's not even like it. That's not in the cards. Like,
yeah,
God forbid he takes the helmet off.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow, there was one other thing I was thinking of. I forget.
Also, that Naboo starfighter just
that
freaking rules,
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a Lego in quite some years, but like, I would love a Naboo starfighter. Like
that, yeah. It is it's nice and sleek and shiny. And
yeah,
it's I completely forgot he had gotten that, because he got that in Book of Boba Fett, right?
Yep. Yeah. What's her name? I truly don't know her name.
The junker pilot lady.
Yeah,
the lady on Mos Eisley.
She promises him a ship and fixes up this beat up Naboo starfighter, and it's just funny, like, because it doesn't even have the color anymore, like the yellow color. It's just silver, and
because that's what Anakin flew in episode 1, right?
Yeah, correct.
Except it was yellow or whatever.
The yellow Naboo starfighter, yes.
Nice.
All-time ship, all-time design.
That is such a cool design for a ship.
It's so sleek, like you said.
It almost kind of looks like a pod racing thing.
Yeah,
like it almost kind of resembles his Anakin's pod racer, but I don't know. That's what I've
speaking of pod racing, there's I've been watching Bad Batch. Season 2 is very good so far. There is not a pod racing episode, but there's definitely there's a racing episode, I'll say, and it's just kind of very tongue in cheek, like, this is kind of nodding to pod racing.
Now this is pod racing.
All right, yeah. I don't really have too much else to say. Like, I mean, we don't really see very much. I mean, even character-wise, we get Grogu, we get Jin, we get Mandalorian, and then we don't get Bo-Katan. We don't get. I guess we see the armorer. What a word! We see the armorer person.
Oh yeah, the lady that was
the blacksmith lady.
The blacksmith. Yep.
And but we see a shot of her. I don't even. We just watched this trailer, and I think that's all the characters I recognize. We see a bunch of random Mandalorians, which is a cool shot. But it's interesting how little we're seeing of the actual show. There's no story element to it.
No, yeah, and I have a feeling my final thoughts is I have a feeling this season's going to be a lot of flashbacks to the glory days of Mandalore.
Sure, and that makes sense
because there were a lot of shots of Mandalorians fighting in an actual city, not a city in shambles. So
sure,
I have a feeling that some of those shots might be flashbacks to the downfall of Mandalore.
And this is the first time we're getting Mandalore on screen, which is wild. And sorry, Mandalore live action.
Yeah.
And like, so I'm sure Filoni is just kind of like watering at the mouth, like drooling like on all the opportunities he can film right now for this. So yeah, I'm sure we'll see the fall Mandalore. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some prequel flashbacks, like stuff. Like, I think I think we get to Mandalore, like the planet, in episode 1. Like the whole season I think is going to be on Mandalore.
Mm.
And if it's not, that's wild to me. It seems like a missed opportunity.
Very surprising. Yeah,
exactly. Because it's basically been building up to this the whole show, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we have a whole season there? That's what I think. This season is, I think Jin is gonna. What a name! I think Jin is going to be trying to, what do we say? Like, he's trying to redeem himself, and that's going to be the focus for him this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we actually get him focusing on Mandalore, the planet, and the culture until season 4. And the reason is, I think he's so focused on redemption this season, it kind of clouds his judgment, kind of a thing. And then by season 4, I truly think the finale for season 3 is he's going to walk away from the olds. And
drop the helmet.
I think season 4 is he's like trying to save Mandalore with or against Death Watch. I could see him not being a part of Death Watch by the end of this.
Yeah. I mean, him and Bo-Katan don't really have the greatest friendship going on. So she's
a bitter, resentful son of a gun right now.
Yeah. Oh, Sabine, that's her name from
Sabine.
I don't know why that just popped in my head, but
good pull, 100%.
Oh, and I don't know why, but my wonderful fiance Kayla had gotten me this for Christmas, and I just saw it, and it's a mouse pad.
Oh, that's very cool. I like the meditation pose too. Like, that's great.
I was sitting here, I'm like, oh, we're talking about the Mandalorian. Might as well.
Grogu's a cutie. He's a little cutie.
He's a little cutie patootie. He's a cute little 50-year-old green guy.
Oh, 50-year-old, classic 50-year-old cute patootie.
Classic cutie.
But yeah, I don't think I really have anything else. I'm excited. I can't believe March 1st, so that's a little over a month at this point. Yeah. That'll probably, that's the funny thing, right? Like that tells you how good the show is. We're for sure gonna do like an episode by episode.
Oh yeah.
Like Mandalorian is gonna
Mandalorian's
be like, we
sure
have this podcast for this moment.
Yeah, exactly. For this moment and for Secret Wars, we have this podcast.
We are here to build the hype for the next Endgame, which is Secret Wars.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no.
Next up on the docket is little series recap of Andor.
So Andor, first and foremost, was a great show.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. It was really good. Like, I really liked it.
A lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
And I think that, there was one guy I heard criticism for, and this is a lot of like, it doesn't feel like Star Wars is what. And I actually disagree with that, but I understand the statement. The idea is basically, it's not Star Wars because it's not, space wizards with saber swords.
Yeah.
And I understand, but my biggest commandment, praise to this show is that it does feel like Star Wars and you don't have Jedi in it. Like, I actually do think this feels like, yes, if I, had a camera and zoomed out of the Death Star and old Ben and all that guy and just shifted over to this planet and put it down, like, I believe this would be happening in Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it gives you, this show definitely gave you a real feel of how, like, regular people in the Star Wars universe act, behave, where they work, what they do, and normal being sort of a broad statement, but
yeah. But my biggest thing isn't actually, this is the funniest thing. My biggest thing isn't really against this show. I think the show is good. It's actually, I'd say it's great, which isn't, that crazy to say and won like 1 billion Emmys, I think. But I think my biggest criticism is actually the critical view of this show because so many people were like, this is what Star Wars should be. This is what Disney needs to focus on. And I disagree. And here's why. I like Obi-Wan Kenobi as a series. It's crazy to me. Like, I hate what they do with I'm looking at what's her name? Oh, I have it covered. I can't see it. The sister. I hate how her story ends in the final episode. Like I think it's not a great show, but I like it. And I think the thing with Star Wars, every Star Wars property doesn't have to be Rogue One. It doesn't have to be Andor. Like, we can have the campiness that is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and Andor.
Yeah.
I think we need more of a balance is essentially what we need. Because I don't want everything to be Andor. I don't want Star Wars to just be gritty and dark and adult, because then you're essentially becoming the DC universe.
Exactly. I was about to say. Then you're just becoming DC. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I like Star Wars because I like the goofiness. I like the sequel trilogy. It's Star Wars. It really is. Yep. I want a more of a balance because I do as an adult like mature themes and shows like Andor. And I just think if we had more of a balance and more of both, then I think people would kind of balance out and stop being so critical in the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah, I think this show definitely, obviously it catered more to adults because there wasn't, lightsabers and blasters and, this, that, and the other thing. But I think that my biggest thing, I love Star Wars because I love the lightsaber duels and the this and the that. Well, I think you froze.
I'm here.
Oh, there we go. Oh, your video just froze for a second. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was frozen on you. Looked like I thought you were chugging your beer. I'm like,
rainfall or waterfall.
A waterfall with a victory. But
waterfall and a monkey.
Ooh. Was that a sour monkey?
It is a sour monkey.
Good choice. But no, I feel like I like the campiness, the goofiness of Star Wars, but I also do like the seriousness. This was a full deep dive into 100% serious.
Yeah.
Which, made it difficult for kid. I mean, obviously it's not a kid show. Which Star Wars is usually marketed towards kids, with Grogu and the lightsabers and all the toy. I mean, look at all the toys I have sitting behind me.
Right. It's a merch paradise kind of
thing.
Like,
but I think they did a good job of branching out and making a more adult themed Star Wars show. Because I mean that's where their demographic is nowadays. I mean, it has been for the past 20, 30 years. But no, I mean, and I just enjoyed the espionage of the show, like how everybody was sneaking around and going behind each other's backs, and you couldn't really trust anybody, and that's how happen,
who was gonna surprise who.
Exactly, yeah. Because that's how all these uprisings start, even in real life, is people stab each other in the back. People, they very well could have been deemed, and rightfully so, terrorists. I mean, the Empire are a bunch of evil idiots, but
they were the ruling government, so by definition they were terrorists.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a rebellion, right? And it's cool seeing the whole story come into play. Like, it was I thought the story was really good. You get a fun cameo of the robot. I forget, from Rogue One.
Oh,
a bunch
K-11 or whatever.
Like, it'll be interesting seeing. I'm trying to remember how exactly I'm trying to remember how the finale ends. I remember the finale has those two meeting, and I can't remember why. And they're in because he wants to kill Cassian, right? Like, he doesn't trust them, basically.
Oh yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. Yep. Yeah. Has them meet. He's basically like, he was like, I'm gonna give you two, or Cassian's like, I'm gonna give you two options. You can either kill me or let me join the rebellion, basically, and let them join.
Do you? I don't know if you've seen this theory. Do you think Skarsgård's character is a Jedi?
I don't know. I could see it. I mean, he seems a little secretive and a little shady, and he did a couple things where this season where you're kind of like, how did that happen? So
yeah, it's not. I don't think it's. I don't. I really don't care either way. Like if he is cool, if he's not, okay. Like I like his character as it is now. So
yeah, oh, well, one thing I wanted to, are they doing a season 2? Do you know?
Yes. So it was signed for 2 seasons. Like I'm pretty sure it's going to end at season 2.
Okay, gotcha. One thing real quick I really liked about this show is it really showed how much, like, how terrible the Empire was, or it showed the parallels between, because George Lucas based the Empire off the Nazis, and it really showed, like, oh wow, they did a really good job of making them look and act and seem like 1930s Nazi Germany. Like,
yeah, I really liked when it was showing the Empire's how do I put it, like their office area kind of thing, where it was all the generals basically, and just how backstabby they all were.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it was the most toxic like work environment kind of thing ever, where it was just they were always looking out for themselves. That one chick was always trying to get ahead of everyone else. Like, yeah, it's exactly what I would picture in the Empire's day-to-day people being like. Yeah,
I mean, they're all just trying to impress the next higher up person to get higher up, to then get demoted, to then get hired back. It's a whole rigmarole there.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I think the weirdest thing I didn't care for, and I'm curious if it pans out a little more, is the like security guard guy from episode 1 who becomes obsessed with the blonde girl. The blonde woman I was just talking about. Like that whole like would they won't they was really bizarre to me. Yeah. So I could care less about that, but yeah, other than that, like I don't know. It was enjoyable. It made sense. It was very thrilling, like by series definition.
My only complaint is I feel like they stretched it out a little too much, and there was a good amount of like the not really BS filler, but there was a lot of filler in the show, which kind of made it hard to watch some of the episodes. Like I would be like, oh, okay. Like my favorite episodes definitely were the jail ones, or like the work
those were
ones,
insane,
with Andy Serkis and all them. Like those were really good.
Andy Serkis showing up in that, I was like, I had no idea he was in the show.
I the whole time I was like, oh my god, is this going to be the like Snoke origin? Like, is this the origin of because he plays Snoke? So I was like, is this But I think they were just like, Andy Serkis is a great actor. Let's just bring him in.
He's like actually being known for like being himself right now.
Yeah, so like, well, yeah, he's this guy. He's Claw in the MCU.
He's Alfred in the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it was just like I to be honest, I forget the writer director team, but I feel like they just liked him. They're like, why don't you come on do Star Wars? Do another Star Wars.
This time we won't put you in a suit with a bunch of balls on him.
You don't have to be CGI. You're not a monkey. You're just a crazy old guy.
You're not a tiny little guy obsessed with rings.
How about that ending in the credit scene being being part of the Death Star assembly?
Yeah,
it was funny. I'm watching that and I'm like, that's really cool. Kind of figured, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're using an entire prison facility to manufacture like the same material over and over and over again, I was like, it's got to
be for something for the Death Star. Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't tell you what it was gonna be, but I was like, it's got to be Death Star related.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
They were making the same whatever that was over and over again.
Joint lock thing for the plates.
Guessing it might have been like part of the paneling or something like that for like the outside. Because I mean,
very cool. But yeah, I mean, so to your point though, like, I mean, I'm not going to tell you why you can and can't like a show, like, shut the fuck up. No, I'm just, but the only reason I would just like disagree to an extent is what I'm not disagreeing that there were filler stuff. There for sure was.
Yeah.
But by having 12 episodes, what I think that helped establish it was a show. Like this wouldn't be a movie. And that's my biggest complaint with most Disney Plus things is should have been a movie. Like this could have been a movie. And I don't know if you're watching this right now, but Valerie and I are currently watching National Treasure, the new show.
That's on my list, yeah.
And I like it, but
Could have been a movie.
There's so much mush, and I'm like, if this was a Disney Plus 2-hour movie, this would probably be great. And it's like, that's like, I don't think Andor could have been a movie, and that's like for all the mush that's in it. I feel like it actually feels like a series, and I like that much.
Yeah, there was way too much to establish in the show to be able to make it a movie.
Correct.
Like it would have been like a 9-hour movie. It just makes it so much easier to make it a. They were like a little over half-hour episodes, right? Like 45 minutes. They weren't.
I think they were
episodes.
like 40, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my only like. I'm not, fuck you, but no.
no, and I get what you mean. Like it made more sense to make it a show, so that way, because you do want Cassian's background, you do want, like I said, they spent 2-3 episodes on that prison.
Yeah, it was an arc. It was 3 episodes at least, I think.
Yeah, which honestly. 3 of the best episodes of Star Wars shows I've ever. Like I really liked them.
The prison break.
I watched them with 103 Degree Fever, and I loved them.
That's
I had the flu when I
forgot about that. Yeah. The prison break scene, and especially like Andy Serkis when they're finally like they're jumping off into and he's like, I can't swim. And you're like, what? Like,
well, I guess you're staying.
That was, that episode was rocked. It was just awesome. Like everything about, and that's what the show. The actual like logistics of it as a show were great. Like the acting was great, the directing was great, the writing was great. Like that stuff was
the set design was awesome too.
Oh my god,
actually used like real sets for everything. It wasn't like that dome they used for the Mandalorian and everything.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, so I rewatched the Batman this past weekend, sometime this week. I don't know. Man, it was really cool seeing like actual sets and like practical effects. Like I was like, wow,
not just a whole bunch of CGI explosions.
Yeah, like sometimes it's like, wow, you really it would be nice to kind of go back to that a little for something.
That's one thing I do like about Star Wars is like you can't make a lightsaber look real without CGI, but they still do. Like a lot of the characters are like without George Lucas directing it, a lot of the characters are like costumes or puppets, or they do a lot of those explosions for real. Like I don't know. I agree.
Disney Star Wars, like for all its flaws that you might have, like not you, but like fans, like one of the better things is Disney Star Wars definitely has gone back to a lot of practical stuff, especially with like Mandalorian. Like,
and I credit that to J.J. Abrams. Because he was the one that brought it back for Force Awakens. Like I watched some interview with him, and he was like, I really loved that as a kid watching Star Wars and seeing like these giant costumes, and he was like, so I wanted to bring that back as my own touch for Force Awakens. Which
I remember Force Awakens, there was an interview of him, and like one of the like background characters walks by, and it's like this like old alien thing with this backpack, and it's like, again, it's like a puppet, like but it just like you're like, yeah, that looks real, and it's cool, and it's weird, and I love it.
A bit off tangent, but just jumping in real quick to the, I don't know, it just popped in my head, the sequel prequels. I know we're eventually going to do an episode on talking about more in depth on them. But I really think Disney screwed themselves when they did J.J. Abrams, then Rian Johnson, then J.J. Abrams. It was like you should have just stuck with J.J. Abrams the whole time.
Oh, dude, we've never really gotten into it, but Star Wars the sequel trilogy seriously suffers because they didn't have a plan. They really did not have a plan, and that's what like I hate hating on a person at all. I really do. And I especially hate when it ends up being, it just feels like, I think a lot of people go, oh, people don't like this person because it's a woman like in charge. And I'm like, that's not it. She just doesn't like get it. But Kathleen Kennedy just has no creative control. Like she has no creative like vision for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's what like
they should have had
Favreau need to just get that reign.
Exactly. Yeah. They should just let the nerds take over. Let the people who know what they're talking about take, because like
for Star Wars, that really meant like I'm not saying like Filoni shouldn't be directing everything. Like, but he can
make him like the Feige of Star Wars.
He can be a great producer for all Star Wars content.
Yeah.
Like, and that's really what, and yeah, the sequel trilogy, I think the best way to put it is I enjoy each movie on its own.
Yeah.
But when you sit back and like look at that trilogy, it's like, some.
When you watch all three back to back to back, it's like they feel like three completely different movies.
Because they are. Because even though they brought J.J. Abrams back for the third one, they were he was like, okay, I have to use mine and someone else's content to make an ending that no one has.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's and I don't blame J.J. Abrams for that. Like, he was given the shit situation.
Yeah, they're basically like, hey, Rian Johnson effed up the second one. You come in and do your magic and, finish it off, JJ.
That's because, like, I feel like I remember us having this conversation back in 2000. When did Force Awakens come out?
Force Awakens was 2015.
Ooh, swish. But I feel like I remember the two of us talking about this, but when Force Awakens comes out, there's in Rey's fighting style, there almost feels like a bit of Palpatine.
Yeah.
And I feel like and then there's also
she does like the jab, like
and I think J.J. Abrams was like, well, if this was my story through and through, like, I'd probably make her a Palpatine, so I'm gonna put a little sprinkle of that in there.
Yeah.
But like then you have Rian Johnson do his thing, which I want to save all that stuff for its own episode.
Yeah.
But like you have Rian Johnson do his thing, which is his own thing, and then they give it back to J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with my thing now, like, because this is my thing.
Well,
like,
you did that, but I really wanted to do this, but they didn't let me do it because I couldn't direct the second one. So I'm gonna go back to my original plan and screw your movie.
And have you seen the? I love that this has become this episode.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go on such a.
No, I love it. I love it.
Off on a tangent.
But have you seen the concept art for the canceled 9th episode?
Mm-mm.
Oh, like, it was gonna be like, so because it was originally 3 separate directors, right? It was J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, and I forget who the third guy was. Oh. And this was like, they fired him not because he was bad, but because they like, we gotta get J.J. Abrams back to just close it his way.
Yeah.
And excuse me. But the canceled one was like, Rey had a double-sided lightsaber that was blue on both sides. Hux was not a spy, and he actually was obsessed with the Jedi, and he was super jealous because he didn't have the Force.
Huh.
And what was it? Who's Skywalker bad? Solo, Ben Solo.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren, thank you.
Ben Solo,
yeah. Kylo Ren, he saw a Force ghost, and I forget who it was. Oh, it was Luke. So it was, assuming Luke died in the second one, like Rian Johnson had planned on doing. Like, Luke was a Force ghost, but he wasn't helping Rey. He was haunting Kylo Ren.
Ooh, that's cool.
Like, there's a lot of cool concepts in this. I highly recommend looking it up. We can do like a deep dive on it later. But like, it's a really cool theory that would have probably worked really well. But it stinks because, again, it just even if that movie came to be, you still suffer from what is just no organization between all 3 movies.
Yeah. It was just
it just didn't matter.
They got so excited because the first one did so well, and then
they were like, we love money, but this is so much money.
And then I feel like they just kind of rushed a little too much and got a little too hasty, and nobody was on the same page, so it all just kind of.
Although, you know what? You want to talk about tangent? I'm a tangent right now, bitch. I'm gonna go off right now. I'm sorry. If you have you seen Avatar: Way of Water? Avatar 2?
No, I haven't.
Can I do a minor spoiler? That's like,
dude.
Okay.
You can spoil it all that we want. I'm not planning on seeing it.
First of all, and Mom cover years, and I've said it a couple times this episode. First of all, fuck that movie. Absolutely dog shit. If you like Avatar: The Way of Water, you are such a simp for James Cameron. I give you like fucking water park.
This makes me so happy. This makes me so happy.
It's so bad.
I'm so happy.
It's so badly written. It's so the main plot, Brendan. The main plot of that movie is they're being hunted by humans because, again, like, after the first one ended, the humans came back and they're like, oh, well, now we're
pissed off and got again.
And then, like, I'm like, all right, that makes sense. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. But like, the main plot of the movie is that Blue Boy's family, they're hunting specifically his family, and they're like, well, we can't put the forest people in danger, so we have to leave our tribe. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. We'll put the tribe in. And he's like, so we're gonna go join the water tribe. It's like, okay, so you're just like, fuck the water tribe, I guess.
So
like, this isn't my tribe, so it's okay if they die.
If they die, yeah.
But the thing that actually pisses me off, the thing that really grinds my gears, and this is the minor spoiler, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, do you know who the antagonist is? The general who dies in the first one comes back as a clone, and he's the main antagonist again. And everyone and their mother is like, this is the greatest movie of all time, of our generation, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my gosh.
And I sit here and I'm like, this is what
guy
Rise
died.
of Skywalker did. And you hated it.
Yeah.
You all hate it. You're like, Palpatine can't be back. He's a fucking, what is this? This is absurd. Palpatine's back.
Somehow Palpatine is back.
But old man General from Avatar from 12 years ago comes back and you're like, oh, I'll suck his dick right now.
Yeah. Oh god. That is, I'm so glad. I'm very glad that you, number one, you don't, because I was never really a big fan of Avatar to begin with. Like not for those of you, if you're for some reason jumping in this episode in the last 10, 15 minutes, we're not talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're talking about Avatar: Blue People. Great show. I really didn't like the first Avatar because it was like, it's Blue Pocahontas. Like, it's what it is. Like, everybody made this whole spectacle. Like, yeah, I get it. In 2008, the real 3D thing was like the top technology. And yeah, great. But like, it's 2023. Like, well, let's step the game up a little bit here. We're not. Who fucking cares about 3D? Like,
and that's exactly, Brendan. Like Way of Water. I'll say this. I've gladly said this. The greatest visual effects I've ever seen in my life, for sure.
Okay.
Movie sucks balls.
Yeah.
But the greatest visual effects I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's not an Oscar movie because the water's real. Like, I'm sorry.
You know what sucks? It's up for Best Picture.
I know. What? Like, I tweeted out, I said, if Avatar Water Park wins Best Picture, you've all failed me. Like, what is this world?
Yeah,
like, it's the same thing that they did with Palpatine, but you all love it this time. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It pisses me off too, because this movie took so long to come out. It took 2008. It came out in 2020, so it took 14 years to come out.
14 years.
And they came out with that. Like, that's what James Cameron, visionary director of Titanic and Aliens 3 and Terminator 2, like all these great movies, comes out with that bullshit. And then has the audacity to be like, hey, we're coming out with 5 more in the next 10 years. Like, strap in.
I said, so Nick and I were talking. It's so funny. I went off and he was laughing. He had no idea. But like, I was like, he has the audacity to have 5 movies planned. And Nick's like, it's like, Zach, you're a fan of the MCU. There's like 22 movies. I was like, yeah. And they've been going every year. Like, yeah. Like, it's not even.
But they've been consistent. Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if I wrote like a short story and then 20 years later, I'm like, here's 6 more. Like, who cares?
That'd be like if they, because Iron Man and Avatar came out the same year. They came out in 2008. Imagine if they released Iron Man in 2008, and then 14 years later, we're like, oh, hey, Edward Norton's gonna play the Hulk. Like, that would be, everyone would be like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. You lost your chance.
Oh my God, I hate it. I got out of that movie and I was like, I watched 3 hours of that. That's the other thing too.
That was the thing that turned me off too. 3 hours, like 3.5 hours. Like, I understand Endgame's that long, but like, we had invested hours and hours and hours of.
Endgame is 10 years. It's 10 years of Marvel movies put together. Like, it's
the culmination
finale
of all
that's 3 hours. We don't still have 3 hours. Freaking No Way Home even was 2.5 hours, and it was, all the Spider-Mans ever, like, combined. Like, that's warranted. You want to know why this movie was 3 hours? Because it took them an hour to find a fucking whale, and they were like, "Why did he lose his fin? I don't know. He's evil. He's a meanie beast." I hate that movie.
It sounds like the movie was basically just like all the side quests in a video game, and then at the end you get a little bit of meat, like.
And I want to say I apologize for. I'm sure eardrums are just destroyed right now, but like,
that's how James Cameron makes that
so good to get. I feel like I need a cigarette right now. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I've been holding that in.
Well, the title of this episode will be called "Fuck James Cameron." No.
And you know what it really comes down to though? Like James Cameron, as you pointed out, has like just sluggers of a
he's got a good rap sheet, like
exactly. So like he wants to do something. I don't blame him, but just all y'all sucking him off and telling him this is if this was any other director and the same movie, this wouldn't even break $100 million.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it would be trashed because like this guy took way too long for it to come out. Like,
it'd be like I don't know if you know this. It'd be like the time J.K. Rowling tried writing a book after Harry Potter under a pseudonym. It did horribly, and she had to go like, "Oh, that was me," so people would buy it.
Oh my god.
It was like a mystery novel or a murder mystery, but like that's
stick to the magic, bitch.
But that's what if anyone else had done this, none of you would care, and in fact would be critical of it. And that's what oh my god, that movie was so bad. I hate it. My one buddy, Ryan, shout out Ryan. He's like, oh, it's like the greatest movie of the year. I'm just like, no, it's not.
No. Oh, that's good.
And like, I don't like, and to bring it back to like our thing, Marvel and Star Wars, like, I don't sit here and tell you that Andor or like the prequels are the greatest movie of all time. No. I tell you, I like them.
They're good. They're enjoyable.
Favorites. Yeah. Like, yeah. But like, oh my God. Move what?
Yeah, I know. I've had so many people ask me like, "Oh, did you see the new Avatar? Did you see the new Avatar?" I'm like, I really don't care for that. Like, I didn't like the first one. I'm not gonna go sit through 3.5 hours or something I know I'm not gonna like. Like
that's what it truly was. Like the reason I went, I told Nick, I was like, look, I'll give it a chance. Like I will give it a chance, but. I'm not joking. It was the first 10 minutes of the movie, and the fucking clone of that dude shows up, and I'm like, what are we doing?
What is happening?
Rise of Skywalker did this better.
That's good.
I'm done.
Well, I think on that note, you got anything else on Andor? I know we took a huge leap, but hey, that's what this podcast is all about.
I will say I look forward to season 2 of Andor.
Yeah, I'm pumped. We're gonna say season 2 of Andor, yes. Season 3 of Mandalorian, hell yeah. The next 10 avatars, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
No, thank you.
Like,
Disney,
comment, subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Don't see Avatar. Actually, buy a ticket. No, don't buy a ticket to Avatar, because if you do, you'll give that son of a bitch James Cameron more money.
Dude, it surpassed No Way Home, and I was like, no, come on, really? You guys didn't want to go see Toby again, but you'll go see blue people
3
swimming?
Spider-Man. Yeah, you didn't want to go see 3 Spider-Man, but you wanted to go see a bunch of blue people chase a whale. Like, that's annoying. Just ride the ride at Disney.
Human race is doomed.
Yeah. And cut.
I can't wait for the cut of this episode, I gotta say.
Oh, I'm keeping all that fuck James Cameron shit in.
Oh, no. I'm saying like the whatever we put as the trailer. That's I can't wait for the cut. Yeah, thanks everyone. And what do we think's next? Do we have a next planned?
I don't know.
Marvel is oh shit. Is that are you trying to see Ant-Man at the premiere?
Oh, yeah. So that would probably be the next newest thing we talk about would be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks still, so we'll probably do like hey, maybe we'll do our Star Wars recap thing, like our sequel trilogy review or whatever.
Yeah, I'd be down.
But that Ant-Man review is gonna be a fun. I can't.
I'm 1000% seeing that opening night, so that way I don't get anything spoiled, and we can do an episode soon after, because I know
we bought tickets for Thursday and Friday.
Smart.
With the we have the Cinemark pass, so we can cancel tickets.
Okay.
And we're not sure based off of our schedule which one we're able to go to, so we got both, and we're like, we'll see what happens.
Hey, I mean, that's good planning.
Maybe see both nights.
Yeah. But that'll do it for this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.